Good evening, everyone, and welcome to HOMT 611 Events Management. This is session 7 of our course, and in today's session, we will be looking at the topic events and new technologies. Now, in today's session, we will specifically be looking into the new and emerging technologies that are facilitating the process of events management and making the job of events professionals easier. So we will look into a number of these technologies and how they function and how they are able to facilitate the events management process. As usual, by the end of the session, there are certain learning outcomes we hope to achieve, and today they are two-pronged. The first one is to be able to describe new technology trends in events management, and the second one is to be able to explain these new technologies and how they can be used to enhance events management. So if during the session you have any question that you need answered, please feel free to draw my attention so that we can go ahead and address your question. Also, if you have any suggestion or comment you want to make, please don't hesitate to draw my attention so that we can give you the opportunity to do so. Please, I hope everyone is okay in that regard.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's get into it. Now, we will first start with a very popular technology that has made the work of a lot of events managers very easy in the current pandemic that we are facing, and that is virtual meeting technology or online meeting technology. Before this took place, people were used to face-to-face interactions, face-to-face meetings, face-to-face lectures, face-to-face transactions in the offices and in all the places that we were used to having all our exchange interaction. However, with the pandemic that we are facing, people were forced to self-isolate. And in self-isolation, the only way that people could still continue to get their work done and still engage in exchange transactions was to do so by virtual means. And by so doing, most of the virtual communication technologies that were hitherto dormant or were being used sparingly by people who were working across borders with people who were in different geographic locations that they could not physically access, all of a sudden became mainstream. And everyone was using these technologies to communicate with one another. So in the wake of COVID-19, many companies are now changing their usual in-person events into virtual events, to the point where everything from naming ceremonies, funerals, weddings, graduations, you name it, have all gone virtual. As such, we are going to talk about these technologies and how they have been able to enhance the activities and job of event professionals during this period of pandemic. Now, streaming has a variety of benefits, including extending events to users who couldn't make it, right? Like I mentioned, hitherto before the pandemic, where people were social distancing, it was a means by which people who were not able to physically be present for certain events had the opportunity to be able to show up, even if it was by virtual means, so that they could participate in the event and not feel left out. So we had situations where perhaps if there was a wedding and a relative could not make it from overseas, the relative would usually be brought in via Skype through a laptop and projector so that the relative could participate. And that is what we mean when we talk about extending events to users who couldn't make it. We can also talk about engaging international customers when it comes to streaming, because hitherto, again, before the pandemic, we had a lot of events that were taking place, sometimes being commissioned by international customers in various locations. So we can have a couple who live in the United States predominantly, who perhaps want to have a wedding in Ghana, and they engage a Ghanaian event professional to handle this event. Now, because they are customers and they are in an international location, the event professional needs some way to be able to be interacting with them and then be sharing updates with them regarding the planning of the event and how things are going, so that they can be given their inputs and feedback. And the virtual meeting technologies were one way by which event professionals could get this done, aside from the normal phone calls and emails that we know of. Also, streaming has the benefit of getting the talk going online about an event. Now, before the pandemic, when events were able to be held physically, because of the advent of social media and the use of a lot of the internet-enabled applications, people were able to even generate buzz and conversation about their events long before the event itself took place physically. So, for instance, before a certain conference or musical concert or wedding will take place, the buzz about the event would have already started online, with people posting save the date images and pre-wedding photographs online to sensitize people about their upcoming nuptials, or people who are sending a lot of adverts, short videos about the conference that they're about to have and the benefits that that conference will provide for attendees, among others. So people were also using these technologies, specifically event professionals, to create buzz about their events prior to the physical taking place of the event. However, with the COVID-19 pandemic, event professionals now do not have a choice than to use these technologies to actually host the events, which hitherto would have been done physically in a face-to-face interaction form. So we are saying that the success of the online event could influence attendance at future in-person events when the COVID-19 pandemic is over. Because right now, the only way the event professional can prove their expertise when it comes to organizing events is by being successful at organizing all these virtual events, which have come to replace the physical face-to-face events that we know of prior. So event professionals have to master the art of now organizing events on all these virtual platforms, and then let the success of these events drive the experiences that customers carry through to their future events that they would have the opportunity, hopefully, to hold in person in the near future when this pandemic has been cleared. So there are several examples of these virtual online platforms and tools that we can use to organize events. The most popular one now being used by everyone, which we all know of, is the Zoom platform. We can also talk about Skype, which was also there a very long time ago, lost popularity there for some time, but with COVID-19 has gained a resurgence where people are using it alongside applications like the Zoom app. And then we also have the free conference call app, which I use a lot in teaching. It is just like Zoom, only that it is totally free. So you can have unlimited meetings for very long periods of time without having to pay a subscription fee. So unlike Zoom, which limits you as to how long you can spend on the platform when you are accessing the free package, for free conference call, it is free for virtually every kind of meeting you want to have and however long you want that meeting to be. So these are three prime examples of current virtual platforms and online meeting technologies that event professionals are using to organize their events. So you realize that a lot of the conferences that were canceled because of COVID are now being held via Zoom. A lot of the face-to-face interactions, for instance, in the University of Ghana that we had, including lectures and PhD Viva defenses, are all being done via Zoom. Faculty meetings, interviews for students who are prospective applicants to the various programs that we offer in the university, is all being done via Zoom, as well as free conference call, depending on the one that the host chooses to use. There are also other less popular ones like Cisco WebEx, which other people also use for their meetings. And depending on, like I said, who the host is and which platform they prefer, you can have an institution or an organization using a variety of these to host various events. So that is it for virtual meeting technologies. Does anyone have anything they want to ask or anything they want clarification on in that regard?
Those, I think we are okay.
You are okay?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, all right. So let's move on from the virtual meeting technology. But before we do so, has any of you attended a virtual event before, aside your lectures?
Doctor, please come again. My line was breaking, so I didn't hear you well.
Aside the
Please.
lectures that you have been having online, virtually, have you attended any virtual events so far?
Oh
Yes, doctor.
no.
You haven't.
I have.
Oh, okay. What event was it?
It was a staff meeting.
Okay, but you haven't done any of the wedding or naming ceremony or funeral?
No,
None.
no, none
Okay,
of that.
okay. And no one in the class also has?
No, please. I
Okay,
haven't.
very interesting. Well, I can
But
describe
doctor,
it to
do
you.
they
I've
have
attended a
something
virtual.
like that?
Pardon?
Do they have something like naming ceremony on
Yes, I
Zoom?
have attended a virtual naming ceremony before.
Wow.
Yes, I attended it on Zoom. They sent me the Zoom link and I tuned in. They were naming twins. A colleague of
Okay.
ours had twins during the COVID period.
Wow.
Yes. And it was pretty well organized. They did it in their sitting room.
Okay.
It's quite an experience. I hope before the COVID ends, you'll get the chance to experience something like that. I know some people too who have witnessed virtual weddings before as well during the COVID era.
Okay.
Doctor,
Yes.
for the wedding, I think the law is against most people who had their weddings during this time, because last time I was listening to one of their lawyers. She was saying that before you wed somebody, there should be a gathering. You should announce at church like for 3 times. If no response, before you go ahead. So now that people were not at church, it means that people hurriedly hide behind things and have gotten married. So those marriages, they are not going to, yes, they are not going to recognize them. I don't know how.
But Joanne, you know the procedure you have to go through when you get married. You need to go and obtain the license for the marriage permit.
Yes,
And what you
yes.
do with the marriage permit is the same as what the when
Okay.
you go for the permit, they post the notice there 1 day.
Yes,
Yeah. So
yes.
without the permit, you can't get married. And then once the permit is approved, the church will either bring their register for you to sign, or the registrar general will bring their own. So as long as you do the permit and all the procedures and formalities that go with getting the permit, as well as signing the marriage register and having all your 2 or 4 witnesses present to do the signing, that is it. Or because there are a lot of
For
people,
saying that there should be an announcement at church.
everyone goes to church, Joanne.
Yes, anyway.
What about the traditionalists and the Muslims? Right? Everyone goes to
Yes.
church.
But doctor, I think when you go for the registration,
Yeah.
they paste it there as well. I mean, wherever you go, and they paste it there for 21 days.
Yeah, for 21 days, they'll post the notice.
Yes.
And without the permit, you can't get married. So everybody will go through that 21 days thing. So I don't
Because
understand what that lawyer is saying.
with my marriage, I never did it in church. I had a court wedding.
Yeah.
So it was pasted there for 21 days, and we went there for the wedding. It wasn't announced in church.
No. So Joanne, that lawyer is misleading people. Because there's a procedure you have, a legal procedure for that matter.
Yes.
So you see, sometimes you have to fact check. When you hear some of these things, you also have to do some digging and search for information so that you can be well informed. You see, but it's good you brought it up. We've been able to help.
Yeah.
So before they do the Zoom wedding, what I know from my friend who attended was that they had done all this 21 days formalities and everything. They had the marriage permit. So all they did was they went to the church themselves with their family members, very few of their family members, and then they arranged. They sat in the social distancing format, and then they've set a camera that directly shots the thing through a laptop using Zoom. And then all the witnesses who were not able to be physically present at the church were able to watch and chime in. So it can easily be done. And currently, there are a lot of people who have made a business out of it, such that they are specializing in organizing these Zoom weddings and Zoom naming ceremonies and funerals, because up until now, this technology was alien to a lot of people. So people have made it their specialization to handle the technology aspect of being able to stream these events live on Zoom, so that the loved ones of the people who are organizing the event, who could not physically be present, could also tune in via Zoom and support the organizers who are organizing the event. So that is it for virtual meeting technologies. I believe there's no other question, so we can move on. Okay. Next, we need to talk about facial recognition. Please, has anyone heard of facial recognition? Has anyone heard about it?
Doctor, no, I haven't.
Has anyone used a phone that uses facial recognition?
Okay.
So Patricia, your phone, what phone is it?
Samsung Jade.
Good. Does it have facial recognition?
I don't think so.
Is it able to open the phone when you show the camera to your face?
Yes.
That's facial recognition.
Oh, okay.
So now that we know what it is, please, does anyone else? Does anyone else use that feature on your phone here?
Yes, Doc. That's the feature I use on my phone.
Good. So it is one of the important technologies that event professionals are using to bring sanity to the process of event management, especially when it has to do with large events like conferences and conventions and exhibitions and trade fairs that involve large numbers of people, and you want to be able to manage the participants who are coming to this event effectively, given their sheer size. So facial recognition is basically a technology that is able to record the facial features of attendees using photos that they upload during registration. And then when they come for the event, it scans their faces, and then it uses that scan to check them in to the event. Now, once the person's face is scanned and it's made a match with the picture they uploaded when they registered, they are given access to the facilities at the event, be it a conference or convention or trade fair. And access to some of these activities, which I'm talking about, include printing a badge with the name of the attendee and their picture on it. So the attendee no longer has to go and queue and provide all this information and all that, because before they came for the event, they had already uploaded their picture, filled in their information, and therefore you have automated the process such that as soon as they scan and it notices that this is them, it can automatically print a badge with their picture and their name and their details on it. Also, through facial recognition, the event manager is able to automate the process of sending emails, which include program lineups, lunch and coffee and tea break vouchers, specific lists of events and activities that are taking place during the convention or conference or whichever one it may be. It's also able to help you to automate the process of entry and exit from specific rooms or parts of the premises, as well as automate the process of sharing swag bags and gift bags at an event. That way you are able to make sense of the sharing process such that you do not give to people who did not show up. How many people have gone to an engagement and seen somebody packing 2 or 3 or 4 of the gift bags and taking home with them before? They collect the first one, they put it under the chair. They collect the second one, they give it to their child to hold. And they collect a third one. And when they are going, they carry all the 3 and they take them home. Have you seen those people who do that at events?
Dog, that is normal.
It's not normal. They're only entitled to So facial recognition helps us.
Dog, please, I'm only saying that is normal because you see it almost every day.
Exactly.
I only get surprised when I see somebody taking just one item home.
See what the culture has made you do. It has made you reverse the whole thing. And what is normal is abnormal to you. And what is abnormal is normal. That's funny. But you're right? In Ghana here, they see it as normal, taking more than one. But perhaps the person budgeted for a certain number of people. And when it comes to conventions and conferences and events on such large scale, when you are dealing with hundreds, sometimes thousands of people, you can't afford to have people taking more than what they are entitled to, because then it messes with the figures and the preparation you have done, and some people will not be catered for. So facial recognition helps you to be able to account for each and every person, and then distribute all the resources and items and tools and whatever you have to give to attendees equitably, to make sure that everybody gets what is due them and no one is shortchanged. So that is one great thing that facial recognition is able to help us do. So the ability to support advanced tech like facial recognition makes certain venues more attractive to corporate planners than others, because facial recognition requires a whole setup. So if the venue that you are using is not set up to support facial recognition, you cannot be able to use that technology as part of your event. And currently in Ghana here, I don't know of any venue that is set up to support the facial recognition technology and how it can be utilized for events. So it is one of the new technologies that we are still yet to catch up with. But at least since we are now using phones that enable facial recognition, at least with time, it will also spread to other events that we organize. So facial recognition is very good for event managers and professionals because, one, it speeds event check-ins. In Ghana here currently, you'll bear with me that when we come for an event, everybody has to go to the reception or go to the sign-in table and then fill a form with their name, email address, phone number, details, and all that before they are given a card or tab to be able to enter the event. And even when they do that, you are not able to keep track of them because you do not know how many people have gone in and how many people have not. But with facial recognition technology, you can speed up this check-in process where the person can pre-fill in their information into the system before they even get to the place. So when they get to the place, it's just a matter of scanning their faces, confirming that this is the person who filled the form, this is their information, and then giving them what they need to be given before they get in. And that way too, it can help you to be able to account for each and every person that is attending the event and monitor their movements as they come and go in the event space. It also improves security. Like I said, because you can monitor the movements and the entry and exit of specific attendees, you can be able to adequately tell who has come and who has gone as a result of the use of the facial recognition technology. And it also helps businesses at trade shows specifically to collect more valuable leads by tracking attendee visits to booths. So once they use the facial recognition technology and they are even within the premises, using the same technology, you can be able to tell what they are doing and where they are going within the premises of the convention or workshop. So you can tell the number of booths that they visited, the kind of booths that these were, and then their activity within these booths, which is very important information for organizers to help them determine the success of the event, and then the level of interest that attendees showed in specific booths and what was being sold or displayed at these booths. So that is it about facial recognition technology. Now, briefly, let me show you a video so that you can be able to appreciate the workings of facial recognition technology and how the whole thing comes about. Since it took you a minute to even realize that what you have on your phone that helps you unlock it automatically is also facial recognition technology. So quickly, let's watch this video that will help us to appreciate facial recognition technology and how it works. So please let me know if you can see the screen. Please, can you see the screen?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, so let's get into it.
Within just a few decades, facial recognition has gone from being some staple of highly advanced security systems in movies to existing all around us and even in the palms of our hands. The technology has been implemented in several ways in our society. Some phones use facial recognition to grant access, and some governments, like China and the US, are using facial recognition on databases like driver's licenses for a variety of reasons. Then we've got fun things like Snapchat filters that utilize facial detection. Now, there's a big difference between facial detection and facial recognition. With facial detection, the computer is saying, yep, that's a face. And with facial recognition, the computer is saying, yep, that's your face. This ability to confirm identity is something our brains pick up on pretty quickly when we're young, but it's actually a pretty complex problem for computers. So, let's take a look at facial recognition and the science of how it works. When you think of a human face, you probably think of a pretty basic set of features. A face has eyes, a nose, and a mouth. But obviously, there's more to a face than just these features. In fact, to get a good idea of how complex this problem can get, you can draw a bunch of different simple faces. You'll notice that they differ in a lot of factors, like the width of the nose, the distance between the eyes, the shape and the size of the mouth, and so on. Some facial recognition technologies look at up to 80 factors on the face to help identify unique features and ultimately identities. These features get to be pretty detailed, observing things like the depth of eye sockets, the height of cheekbones, and the shape of the jawline. Of course, with so many detailed factors to be measured, some complications can arise. For instance, consider the problem of aging faces. After all, as we get older, we look different. In order to work around this, computers have learned what features tend to go relatively unchanged no matter how old we get, and they look closely at these features. But even if we didn't age, there would still be everyday complications. What happens if the computer tries to analyze your face, but you're not looking at its sensor or camera at precisely the same angle every time? This is something humans encounter on a daily basis, but never really have a problem with. For computers, though, this can present a seriously complicated obstacle in detecting and recognizing faces. So, engineers have found a few different techniques to work around this. A lot of phones that utilize facial recognition will prompt you to move your face around when you set up the facial identification system in order to know what you look like from different angles. Other systems utilize 2D to 3D technologies that map 2D images of your face onto a 3D model to calculate what you would look like from different angles. Computers measure these factors down to scales smaller than a millimeter in order to generate a face print, which, as the name implies, is basically a fingerprint, but for your face. And these face prints have become incredibly accurate. They're able to correctly identify people with a near 100% accuracy, and are even able to detect the minor differences in identical twins. As the technology has improved and become more widespread, the possibilities for its uses have grown as well. Right now, we use facial recognition every day for things like phone security, but the technology is seeing more serious uses from important organizations like banks and even governments. In Japan, some banks are looking at implementing facial recognition technologies into their ATMs as a security measure for verifying transactions. In the United States, important government agencies like ICE and the FBI are using facial recognition to create databases from existing documents like driver's licenses. Whatever the use, we know that this technology is becoming more and more present in our daily lives, and it doesn't look like that'll be stopping anytime soon. So, as is the case with all things, it's important that we stay educated and informed about these technologies. After all, they're learning as much as they can about us.
Okay, so we have just seen the video on facial recognition technology, explaining how it works. So that means that in future, if event spaces like the Kempinski's and the Fiesta Royales that are more enclosed, that can be more better regulated, adopt these kinds of technologies, we can be able to, as event professionals, stop the phenomenon of gate crashes, who like to show up at events that they have not been invited to. Because with facial recognition technology, we will only let in those who have actually been invited and who have been put into the system as people who should be let into the event. So that is one of the major things that facial recognition technology can help us to do. And I know as event professionals, gate crashes have been a major problem for many years now. True or false? Can you hear me? Or gate crashes have only been my problem.
True.
Thank you, Mercedes. So that is it for facial recognition technology. All right, so let's move on to branded multi-use event apps. Now, event apps, again, are another new phenomenon, but they are also being used in Ghana for certain kinds of events, even though they are not that widespread. And they refer to technology that helps you to be able to integrate all the activities at your event into one app that can be shared with event attendees, which will make things easier for them when they are going through the motions of participating in activities at the event and undertaking all the things that they are supposed to be doing when they come for your event. Now, properly integrated event apps add value to events. Why do we say so? This is because they provide attendees with more opportunities for networking, interaction, and engagement with peers, speakers, and exhibitors, because the app acts like a platform. The same way we join Facebook and Instagram, event attendees are required to sign on to these apps. So it becomes some kind of networking platform where they can be able to interact with other attendees at the event, as well as the speakers at the event. And then if it is a convention, the exhibitors at the event will also be added onto the app. So if attendees want to engage with any of these groups of people, they can easily do so using the app and may not even have to physically walk to the booth of the attendee or physically talk to every single attendee at the conference, which is always very difficult, because for those of us who attend conferences, there are only so many people you can talk to at a time. So sometimes you do not meet all the people you want to meet. But with the help of these multi-purpose event apps, you can be able to talk to more people than you would normally if you were trying to engage with them on a one-on-one basis physically at the event. But the app puts everyone together on one platform virtually, so you can talk to any one of them at any time. And also using the app, event professionals who are responsible for these events like conferences or trade shows can upload things like the conference map or the convention hall map. Remember, we talked about the site plan and how it can help people navigate through the large premises that are used to organize these conventions and events. So the map of such events, locations and sites can be uploaded into the app so that the attendees can use it to guide them when they are moving about the location. You can also upload speaker bios as well as schedules for the event. So instead of perhaps printing out physical paper brochures for people to hold around and use to track the schedule and what is up next, you can just virtually upload it in soft form into the app, and then they can easily access it wherever they are to be able to know who is speaking next, who the speaker is, and then access information about the speaker, all using the app. So this saves conference and convention attendees the stress and then the financial burden of producing bulky information packets. Now, I don't know if you've been to a conference before, but usually when we go to conferences as academics, they give us information packets the moment we arrive, and it usually contains a lot of things. They give us schedules, maps of the town and the location that we are going to. The schedules are not only schedules for the event, but also schedules for sometimes transportation. In case you want to use the bus system, they add a schedule for the bus system at the place, as well as the taxi system. They will also give you schedules for they'll give you vouchers for the meals that you'll be having. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner, among other things that come with the packet. So, and most of these are in hard copy, printed on paper, which costs money. So if they can cut out the cost of spending on all these paper-based items and just upload them in soft copy into the app and make it available to every conference attendee, who will definitely be coming there with a cell phone, it makes it easier for them and reduces their cost. And also, it also makes the event professional job easier when they want to communicate with everybody at a particular point in time. But you all bear with me that during events like conferences and conventions, several things come up every now and then. So the event professional is able to send push notifications in the app to help the attendees stay informed and on schedule. So perhaps if during the conference there's a talk coming up and it's about 30 minutes to the speaker mounting the podium, the event professional can send a push notification to everyone to say that, okay, in 30 minutes we'll be starting this talk and this is the speaker that will be speaking and we hope to see you there. And that alone can enhance the participation of attendees in the various events that have been planned to take place at the conference, convention, trade show, or whichever event that it may be. Now, there are different types of multi-use event apps. Some of them are developed as part of a package by a specific company to help event professionals execute their duties when it comes to organizing all these different types of events. So some of them are standalone platforms and applications, while some of them come as part of a bouquet, which gives you not just the ability to use an app for the event, but it also gives you a planner. It gives you other tools like Gantt charts, among others, all to expedite the process of organizing and planning your event. So planners, once they decide the app that they want to use and the platform that they want to use to build that app, they can be able to personalize the event agenda through the app that they design, such that they can be able to pick specific aspects of it, how they want it to look. And they can even go ahead and do live polling to be able to get attendees to chime in on the various aspects of the event agenda, right? And some event sponsors are attracted when you use such novel technologies in organizing your events, because it gives the sponsors additional benefits. For instance, if you can be able to get about your 100 plus, say 500 to 1,000 attendees all on one app, the sponsor who comes to sponsor that event will have access to the information of all these individual users who perhaps, if the sponsor is selling a particular product, are all potential customers. So they have access to about 1,000 potential customers by virtue of the app that you are using to organize your event. And you, the event professional, can even help your sponsors to do targeted surveys using your attendees to obtain all manner of information. And that leads us to the point of having some of these new technologies feature in our events management activities as professionals, because it makes our events more attractive to sponsors and increases our chances of getting support in terms of financial and non-financial resources to host our events. So that is it for branded multi-use events app. Now, like I said, there are so many kinds of these apps, but we will look at two of them. One is SwapCard, which is a standalone event management app. And then Bizarbo, which, like I said, is one of those platforms that has the branded event app as part of a suite of several tools that the event professional can use to help them expedite their activities. Now, SwapCard is the one we will start with, and that one offers several benefits and gives the event professional the opportunity to customize the app to suit their needs. And it helps them to be able to do things like send push notifications and then help sponsors of their event enhance their return on investment through communication with participants, as well as enhancing the return on investment for all the participants who have invested some kind of resource to participate in the event. Because using apps enhances the experience of participants. If you are able to get an app where your participants can be able to get all these schedules automated, they can be able to be getting push notifications, reminding them of events, pointing them to exciting things that are happening during the event that they can participate in. All of these things come together to enhance their experience. And that alone creates a good return on whatever investments they made to be part of that event. So let's take a quick look at SwapCard and how it works. I'm going to pull it up now on the screen. Please let me know if you can see the screen. Please, can you see it?
Yes.
You can see it.
Yes, please.
Okay, so please listen to this and then we will discuss. Sorry, please, I'm having a bit of the challenge with the connection. So I'll pull it up in a moment. So the site I'm trying to pull up now is swapcard.com, and they are the people who manage the event app technology. So let's watch the video.
As event organizers, we're challenged by the growing needs of our exhibitors and attendees. If we want them to value our event, we need to improve their interactions. So why SwapCard, you ask? Simply because SwapCard is a smart matchmaking platform. I love that it uses AI to help my attendees and exhibitors connect with the right participant, generating business. Who knew making an event app could be so easy? From the platform, I can easily customize the branding, colors, logo, and icons on my own. I can use my favorite registration platform to synchronize with SwapCard automatically. But wait, there's more. I have a dedicated project manager to guide me before, during, and after the event, which makes the whole thing stress-free. Once attendees and exhibitors are synchronized, why not set up rules between them? If I only want exhibitors to send requests to attendees, I can. Now my event is ready to go live. And my participants can log in one click without having to download the app first. Onboarding emails will automatically log them into the web app. Seeing the value first will make them want to use the app. So I'm sure you're wondering about usage rates. If the intelligent and convenient design doesn't win them over first, participants are sure to be captured by the app's AI matchmaking and session recommendations. Once they have information and tools at their fingertips, along with leads and new business, they won't be able to put the app down. The best part is the data dashboard. I can keep a pulse on my participants and analyze the data, from finding out which sessions were the most popular to measuring the number of leads and meetings of my exhibitors. What are you waiting for? The success of your event is just within reach.
So that is it for SwapCard, the event app designers. Now, I know this is a bit confusing for some of you, but once we are done with the lecture and you go back and you watch the video, you will appreciate all these technologies and how it facilitates the event management process. In Ghana here, we are only used to organizing a specific kind of events, which are parties, weddings, and funerals. Most event planners and organizers in Ghana here do not have much experience when it comes to organizing corporate events, especially corporate events on a large scale, like conferences and conventions and trade shows. So this is kind of an eye-opener to let you, being event professionals in training, appreciate the nature of some of these other kinds of events that are planned and technologies that can facilitate the planning process. Please, does it make sense?
Yes, doctor.
So who didn't understand what they just watched? Did you all understand what you just watched?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So briefly tell me what an event app is. Briefly tell me what an event app is and how it facilitates the work of an event professional. If no one talks, I'll name names. So. Now, Momo. Now, Momo, what are event apps and how do they make your work easier as an event professional?
Doc, I'm following small.
Mercedes.
I'll say it makes your work easier. It makes the event professionals work easier.
My question was, what is an event management app and how does it make work easier? So you have to give me, tell me what it is and then examples of how it makes the event professionals work easier.
Okay, so it's an app that integrates all the activities within an event.
Okay.
Yes.
So activities like?
So let's say if it's a conference, any so all the speakers that may be coming, they can maybe at certain intervals give you the profile of the speaker, maybe give you a little information, so the profile of the speaker, and also maybe what the person is coming to talk about, a brief summary about it.
Great. So based on what I just showed you from SwapCard, what is SwapCard? What is SwapCard? I just showed you SwapCard. So Mercedes has explained what the app is and some of the ways it can make your work easier as an event professional. So what is SwapCard? I just showed you something about SwapCard. So what is SwapCard in that regard? Following from what Mercedes just explained. Gloria, what is SwapCard?
So it's an app. It's an app that offers details. Can I give example?
Okay.
Yeah. So like it's okay. Through the video that we've done, they were able to show exhibitions and I don't know how to explain it. Yes.
Okay. Anyone else want to try? Thank you, Gloria. Anyone else want to try to help Gloria out? What is SwapCard? I just explained what it is. What is SwapCard? Joanne, what is SwapCard?
I'll say it's an app that it serves as a notification. You know, when there is going to be a program, it's after sharing the notification to the people who will be coming for the program, it serves as a reminder. I don't know.
I think you're
Yes. Yes. So it's
You are joining the lecture from whatever destination you are, please pay attention to what we are doing because it's very important that you grasp the concept. From what you are describing, it means you were not listening when I was discussing the swap card and when I showed you the video. So swap card is a platform that helps you as an event professional to design your own app. So they give you the capability to design your own app and then use it for your event. So from the video, you can see that the lady was talking about how you can customize the app and determine the privileges and the competencies that you can give your attendees, sponsors, and exhibitors, if there are any, as to what they can do on the app and how they can connect with other users of the app for your event. So just like Swapcard, Bizabo is also a platform that helps you or gives you the capability to build your own app as an event professional for events. And both of them are subscription based. So you have to pay a subscription fee to be able to use it. But it is a small price to pay if you want to be known as an event professional who is up to speed with the cutting edge technology that is needed to facilitate the organization of large events like conferences and conventions, which require these kinds of technology for them to be effective. Because imagine trying to register and check in 500 to 1,000 participants at an event. It will virtually be impossible, if not a Herculean task. So technologies like these apps make it easier for you to manage all these hundreds of thousands of attendees at an event and then make sure that the activities of the event go smoothly to ensure the success of the event. Please, do we understand? Joanne, do you understand?
Yes, please.
yes, doctor.
Okay. So please pay very close attention to what I'm saying. I know it's not something you are familiar with, but there are things you have to know. That is what will set you apart from the regular person who has not had any formal training in the area of hospitality and tourism. And particularly someone who has not taken a course in event management, because they will not have an appreciation of all these things that I'm talking about. And that is what you see that sets you apart. Please, does it make sense?
Oh, okay. Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. So that is it for the branded multi-use event applications or apps, as we normally call them. Next, we can talk about event management software. Now, these are not necessarily apps. They are entire software that you have to download and install. Now, these software are able to help you plan and organize your event right from pre-planning to organizing to execution and post-execution, because they help you to be able to handle all the multiple aspects of your event at the same time in one place in an organized fashion. So to be successful with multiple events, planners and event professionals such as yourselves need to be able to map out all the different moving parts of your event beforehand, during the event, and then after the event to make sure that you are able to tie up all loose ends and successfully close an event. An event management software can help you to do this. And by helping you to be able to organize all the moving parts beforehand and make things clear for you to be able to know what you have done, what you have left to do, and what time within which you have to do it, it helps you to save time. And it also keeps you organized, such that you do not forget about certain things that you have to do. You are able to keep track of every single thing on your list that has to be done and ticked off before the date of the event comes. So you are able to take care of every single detail of your event and nothing falls between the cracks, such that in the event that you even forget something, the software, some of the software have built-in reminders to be able to remind you of things that you have left to do before the day of the event comes. And there are several of such software that are designed in different ways to facilitate such activities. We can talk about software like Trello, which behaves more like a to-do list sort of software. And then we have the Project Plan 365, which is more like Microsoft's project. I think Mercedes is a bit familiar with the Project Plan 365 because she tried to build a Gantt chart in it, which she sent to me some time ago. And then we can also talk about Planning Pod and Hoover. These are all software that help you to be able to organize every aspect of your event. And some of them have built-in capabilities to help you to develop event applications, as well as other things that will make the event management process easier for you. So let's talk into more detail about some of these software. Let's first start with Trello. Now, Trello is a project management software. Remember, we learned about the fact that the event is like a project. So there are certain kinds of techniques and tools that we use in project management that we can import into event management and use it to make our work easier. So if you are into the to-do, doing, and done task management approach, then Trello is the kind of software that you will like, because it has a strong, easy-to-use visual interface that helps you to be able to consolidate all the tasks and activities that you have to do for your event, and then help you to be ticking off your list as you are going along to let you know what you have already done and what you have left to do. So let's quickly go to the Trello site and see how the software works. Most of these software we may not be able to experience full hand because, like I said, almost all of them are subscription based, but we can be able to generally see the interface. And then when you have time, you can try your hands on registering for and trying them out. Now for Trello, it's free. So you just have to provide your email address, you go through some sign up processes, and then you can be able to use it. And like I said, it basically behaves like a to-do list, where it gives you different boards and cards to help you organize all the separate tasks that you have to do. And then it helps you to be able to prioritize in terms of what is more important and has to be done first, and what is less important and can be done later on. However, the most important thing is that it helps you to keep track. And if you have team members, you can bring on board your team members, and you can synchronize your to-do list such that you can be able to even coordinate the tasks that your other team members are doing, to know if they have been able to successfully complete the work that you gave them to do, and what work they have left to do that they have not done yet. So that is the beauty of using software like Trello. And this is the Trello site. So when you get the slides, you can use the link and then try your hands out on the platform to see if you can use it in your work. There's another one also called Hoover, which is similar to Trello. However, it offers more features and functionalities than Trello. So that one is an all-in-one event management software that helps you to manage every aspect of your event, including event registration, the marketing of your event. You can also build your own app in the events that you want to build an app to use for your conference or convention. You can also create a website for your event using the same Hoover platform. Currently, it is becoming fashionable for event organizers to create websites for specific events that are taking place, so that prior to the event, people can obtain updates and information about the event that is coming up. And also after the event, they can be able to access resources, including pictures, videos of certain talks and activities that took place at the event, or even written out speeches that were given at the event after the event has taken place. All of these are made possible through an event website creation functionality that is built into the event management software. It also offers what Trello offers, which is agenda management and schedule management, where you can create a to-do list, what you have to do, what you have yet to do, and help you to be able to checking of the list as you go along. So that is it for Hoover. And we can also go to the Hoover site right now and see what it looks like. So this is the Hoover site. And as you can see, this one is purely subscription based. So they will not give you access until you have provided your details and then committed to some form of payment. So you can sign up and then ask for a price quote based on the features that you select that you are going to use and what you are going to use them for. And you realize that at the bottom of their page, they list a number of organizations that they have been working with, whose events have been organized using their platforms. So it tells you how reliable the Hoover platform is, given that they have worked with organizations like TEDx, Stanford University, the American Marketing Association, as well as NASA and the IEEE. Okay, So that is it for the Hoover platform. Next, we can also talk about Project Plan 365, which is built by a team of developers in Houston. And that one works a bit like Microsoft Projects, where they give you different tools and solutions to help you to organize your event. Again, this is a project management software, but it has functionalities that can enable us to successfully manage our events. So when you go to Project Plan, again, this is also subscription based. So you have to be able to subscribe to be able to use the software. Then we have All Seated or Planning Pod. Now, All Seated and Planning Pod are two software that help you to be able to build floor plans and venue room setups. Remember, we talked about this previously when we were discussing site planning. And when you are developing a site plan, you need to be able to develop a room and floor plan so that people who are attending the event as participants or attendees can properly navigate their way through the event space and not get lost. So All Seated and Planning Pod help you to be able to create a floor plan or a venue room setup that gives us a bird's eye view, or it gives us a blueprint of how the room is going to look like, where specific items are going to be positioned, who is going to be where, and then how people can locate specific things or activities that they are looking for in the room. So I have an All Seated subscription, which is free. All Seated is free, but Planning Pod is not free. You have to sign up for Planning Pod. But All Seated is free, so I have an All Seated subscription. And let's go to All Seated and see if we can use my subscription to navigate through it and see how it works. So I'm going to pull up the All Seated page now so that we can see if we can customize our floor plan. Okay, so let me sign in and then we can take it from there. Okay. Please, can we all see the screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so you can see that I set up prior an event, which I named the HOMT 611 party, and it's supposed to be a dinner party. So I'm going to select that event and use that to set up the seating arrangement. So you can see that I'm the host of the event, right? And I have the opportunity to add a planner in case I want to start planning my event. So they don't offer planner services, right? But I can go and import a planner from another place and add it to help me to plan my event. But I'm not really going to do that because that is not our purposes for now. But I can, as you can see from the screen, I can also add my vendors in case I'm working with certain vendors. I can also add another user in case I have another planner, a planner I'm working with, right? So I can add that person as a user, and the person and I can be collaborating in terms of the event. So if, for instance, my planner is somewhere in the United States and I'm in Ghana, we can use All Seated to collaborate and work together on my event without actually meeting face to face. And then I also have a section where I can add my caterer and then add my venue, right? And you realize at the top here too, I can customize things like my seating and then my guests and the reports that I want to put together. So let's go into the seating. Okay, so here it's asking me if I want to develop a floor plan. So I'm going to click New Floor Plan to create my own floor plan. So I click Custom, and I have to name my floor plan. So what name should I give the floor plan? What name should I give it, please? Ladies, what name should I give the floor plan? Mercedes, what name should I give the floor plan?
Uh, any name? Let's say event management.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay, so I'm going to use metric units. So meter by meter. So here it's asking me for the dimensions of the room that I'm going to have the party in. So let's say, how many meters should the room be? So let's use imperial so that I can use feet. Should we do 1,000? Let's do 2,000 feet by 2,000 by 1,000. Yeah. It looks fairly small. Let's make it 10,000 by 6,000. Okay. What should our background color be? Yeah, let's make it yellow. Okay.
Hello.
The screen is unresponsive. I don't know why the screen is not responding. The screen is unresponsive. I think it's from the site. So we can come back to it later.
okay.
Yeah. But you can also try your hands on it. Like I said, that one is a free software. So you can go ahead and then go to the page, set it up, and then design your own floor plan. Is that way okay?
Okay, doctor. Yes,
All right.
please.
Please, can you see the slides now?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that brings us to the end of event management software. Okay. Next, we can talk about social media sentiment. And once again, this may not be relevant to some of us because we are used to organizing events that do not involve metrics that require us to keep track of social media sentiment. However, if you are organizing something like a conference or a convention, you want to be able to see if the events that you're organizing is having an impact, such that are people following, are attendees posting on social media, are attendees posting pictures of themselves at the event, are they saying good things about the event online? So this is where the people are able, the media and the commentators are able to come up with things like this event is trending, among other things. It is as a result of monitoring social media sentiment. So as an event attendees connect on social media and comment on your event when they attend it, you can be able to evaluate all the things that they are posting, including their names, the hashtags that they are using, the mentions that they are using, the emojis that they are using, and the kind of comments that they are making about your event. And it helps you to be able to determine the level of satisfaction or otherwise with the event. So you can be able to track your attendees' activity on social media as the event is going on in real time, as long as you have the social media sentiment software installed to help you to be able to monitor these activities. And once you are monitoring them, sometimes in real time, which is while the event is going on, you can take actions that are directly related or a direct result of the sentiments that you see the people sharing on social media. So for instance, if people are at a workshop and you are monitoring their social media sentiment and someone tweets that during the workshop that these people didn't even provide us water, we are all so thirsty. And you are able to see that social media sentiment is going up about the lack of water at the venue. As an event organizer, you can quickly organize and mobilize some water to bring to the venue to improve the social media sentiment in real time. So that is the beauty of having software that helps you to manage social media sentiment. And one very good software you can use to do that is Hootsuite. Now, like I mentioned earlier, when you are able to monitor social media sentiment in real time, you can be able to respond in real time to certain shortcomings during the event. For instance, there may be, like I said, a reduction in food or beverage, like water. And people may, instead of contacting the organizers, decide to share their sentiment on social media. And if they garner a following, it can be detrimental for your event because other people will see your event in a negative light. So you can be able to replenish food and beverage in real time once you realize that the social media sentiment is pointing in that direction. There could also be issues of Wi-Fi or audiovisual problems where people are in a workshop and they can't hear the speaker because there's an issue with the sound. You may not know about it because perhaps you are in another side of the venue where they cannot reach you. So by monitoring social media sentiment, if they start talking about it on social media, you can be able to see early that they are having this problem and then quickly address it before it gets out of hand, right? And you can do similar things for other bottlenecks that may come up during the event. The moment a social media sentiment changes, you as an event organizer being able to keep tabs on the social media activity that is surrounding your event using the technology, you can be able to see when it is getting negative and then do your best to fix it. So like I said, the Hootsuite software offers a comprehensive guide on how to measure and improve social media sentiment to build trust among you and your attendees, because like I said, when your attendees are happy attending a particular event, it carries through to your other events because the experience that they had will lead them to decide whether or not to attend a subsequent event that you put together. So the Hootsuite helps you to be able to monitor their sentiments, to enhance the trust between you and them, increase their engagement, and be able to find people who are potential influencers for your event that you can use in future to promote your event. So let's quickly look at the Hootsuite platform and how it works. So I'm going to take you over to that page now so that we can look at it. Okay, please can we see the screen?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is the Hootsuite page, and you can see that they give you several options depending on the package that you pay for. And you can see that they have different plans for individual users and multiple users, and then the number of profiles that you want to be able to monitor. So they have packages for entrepreneurs, for small teams, for small businesses, and then for large teams and organizations. So as an event professional, if you sign up to Hootsuite for your business, you and your team members can be able to log onto the platform and use it to monitor social media sentiment during the events that you organize, assuming the social media sentiment is relevant to that event. Because for instance, I don't think you will need social media sentiment during a wedding or a funeral. However, you may need it during something like a convention or a conference or an exhibition to be able to see the discussion that is surrounding that particular event. So you can be able to choose the number of networks that you want to integrate, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, as well as YouTube. And you can also decide the features that you want to have, including publishing, engaging, advertising, monitoring, and then analyzing. So Hootsuite gives you a number of options and also provides resources in terms of giving you explanations of the various things that the software can do and how you can be able to use it effectively. So here on the page, we can see that they've mentioned social sentiments, try to explain what social sentiment is, why social sentiment is important, and how you can be able to use the Hootsuite to be able to facilitate your monitoring of social sentiment with regard to the events that you organize. So that is it for the Hootsuite software and how it helps you to monitor social media sentiment. Okay, before we move on, does anyone have anything they want to ask or anything they need clarification on with regard to social media sentiment and the event management software? Anyone? Everyone is okay?
Yes, please.
Okay. So next, we can talk about venue sourcing tools. And I think this particular tool is very needed in our context because currently all the venues that are good locations for organizing events are pretty much dispersed and scattered, such that you can't go to one place and find information regarding all these individual locations and what they offer you with regard to organizing specific kinds of events. So venue sourcing tools are any event technology program that allows event planners to search, browse, and filter through different venue options in their chosen locations. So currently, if I was looking for all the possible venues in Accra where I can have an event, there's no one platform in Ghana that I can go to that can tell me. But there are several of such platforms in the US, in the UK, and other countries. So this can be a business model for someone who will decide to consolidate all these different venues and then give the profiles of these venues and what events they are good for hosting. For instance, some venues are better for hosting weddings, but they will not be good for perhaps hosting a conference or a retreat. Some venues may be better for hosting a convention or an exhibition, but may not be good enough to host a funeral or a naming ceremony. So event venue sourcing tools are very important and very needed, especially in contexts like ours where we do not have ready access to such kinds of information. So through such platforms, planners and event professionals such as ourselves can easily send requests for proposals or quote requests and track them through our event management software. Like I said, some of these platforms are complete event management software that offers several individual services. Like they give you the capabilities to build apps, to find venues, to manage your to-do list, to manage your attendees and check-ins, develop your floor plan and site plan, among other things. So with these venue sourcing tools, you can be able to please, can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. I think it was the network. Okay. So like I was saying, if you have the opportunity to use these tools, you can be able to use it to consolidate all your information and at the same time to use it to find other information that you need that you do not have ready access to. And in Ghana here, currently, there's no venue sourcing tool that I know of that can help you to be able to sort through all the different venues that are available for hosting specific kinds of events. So this can be someone's project where they decide that, okay, I'm going to build a platform that will provide all this information and I'll charge event professionals a small fee to be able to access it. And that can be a good business model that someone can start and use for their benefit. So with the lack of such a platform in Ghana here, it doesn't stop us from appreciating what these platforms can do. So there are several of these platforms out there, including platforms like Event App, Placer, and Headbox, which are US and UK based platforms that help them to sort through venues in the UK and the US. And when you go there, you can find things like venue layouts, capacity ranges. When we talk about venue layouts, it's about how the venue is designed, how the size of the venue is. And then when we talk about capacity ranges, it tells us how much people or how many people the venue can take at a time and what number of attendees it can support, as well as on-site services that are offered by the different venues. Sometimes it will also compile reviews and tell you what some of the venues are good for and what they are not good for. For instance, like I said, some venues may be very good for organizing wedding receptions, but they may not be good for organizing conferences. So you will find such information on these venue sourcing tools in one place in an easy to access format. And through these platforms, when you find a promising venue, you can immediately clarify the size of the event and request a price quote from the potential venue owner, because they are all signed up onto the platform. So you can easily, with a click, send an email to the owner of that event venue or the manager of that event venue and tell them the specifics of your event, and then request a price quote to start the ball rolling on discussions of you possibly having your event in that location. And like I said, there's no such software or platform in Ghana. So in case someone wants to build something like that, it will be very welcome. And it will help simplify the work of a lot of event professionals in Ghana here. So Event App, like I said, is one of such venue sourcing tools, which allows event organizers to directly message venue owners. So you go to their platform, you look through the venues using your specifications to see which ones fit the bill when it comes to the event you are trying to organize. And then you can quickly message the owners of the venues and request for a price quote. And they have a wide selection ranging from corporate events venues to private dinner party space. So you can get from the largest venue for a corporate event to the smallest and quaint venue where you can have something as small as a dinner party or a birthday party. And that is for eventsapp.com. Then we can also talk about videos Splatter, which provides videos and historical backstories about the different events locations that you have at your disposal when you use the platform. So they'll give you a video of how the event venue looks like. Most of the time in Ghana here, all we know about event venues before we physically visit there is what we see in the pictures. So with platforms like Splacer, you can be able to see how the place looks like in video form. And they also have historical backstories about previous events that have been held in these locations and whether or not these events were successful and how they were pulled off. And that provides a personal touch to the search experience for the vendor or the event professional, because then you are not just relying on your imagination to see how the place can be set up to match the event you want to organize. The videos and the historical backstories will give you a backdrop of how it will facilitate the events that you are trying to organize and make it a success. So this tool, they say, is best for event organizers in need of more intimate and personal gathering spaces. So Splatter is better for those who are looking for a quaint space to organize, say, a wedding party or a birthday party or an engagement party or some kind of dinner party. But it will not be a good platform for you to use if you are looking for large event spaces. But for Event App, it is good for all manner of spaces, be it a space you are looking for a large corporate event or a space you are looking for a quaint event. And these two are US-based venue sourcing platforms. However, Headbox is a UK-based venue sourcing platform, and it allows organizers to pay for their chosen spaces, select the chosen space, and then pay for it through the website. So that also saves you from having to personally deal with venue space owners, because Headbox acts as some kind of intermediary between the UK event professional and the UK venue owner, such that you can select the venue and then pay for it through Headbox without physically having to deal with the venue owner. And it says that they have over 5,000 venues to choose from. So let's quickly go to the Headbox page and see what is happening there. So I'm taking us to the Headbox page now.
Okay.
Okay, can we see the screen? Please, can we see the screen?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Good. So you can see they are saying, well, Headbox events made easy, creating virtual, hybrid, and in-person events in quick, simple, and hassle-free with Headbox. It's quick, simple, and hassle-free with Headbox, sorry. So because of the COVID-19, they have introduced an aspect where they help you to organize virtual events. You can read more about that. However, if you want to plan an event at a physical location, there's a tab too that can help you. So here they are saying, let's get started. Tell us what you're looking for, and we'll quickly provide you with the right solution. So let's click plan my event, right? And see what they offer in terms of helping you plan your event. Good. So the moment you click that, what question did they ask us? What did they say?
What sort of event are you planning?
Good. Good. So they're asking you whether it's a meeting, a workshop, a private dining, presentation, networking, party, wedding. So which one should we choose?
I think party.
Oh, okay.
Party.
Okay, conference.
Okay, which one are we going for? Let's go for conference.
Let's go for party. Okay, conference. Okay.
Okay, so conference. Let's do conference then. So which area would you consider for your event? So now they are asking us for a specific location, you see. So it has to be a location in the UK. And they've given us some options. They said try Soho, M2, or Waterloo Station. So let's choose, should we choose Waterloo Station?
Yes.
I'm choosing it because I heard it in an ABBA song. So. Okay, so do you see, immediately it has given us a map.
Yeah.
And you see, and it is pinpointing specifically where the Waterloo Station is. Do you see? Please, can you see that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so let's continue. It's now asking us how many people will be attending. So how many people are attending our conference? Let's say 100, right?
Okay.
Then it is now asking us our preferred room layouts. Can you see the layouts? So do we want the boardroom setup, or the cabaret setup, or the classroom setup, or seating, or standing, or theater setup, or a U-shaped setup, or we are not sure? Which one are we going for?
Madam, with 100 people, either theater or we are not sure.
Okay, so let's do theater and then continue. Then they're asking, when would you like your event? Is it a single date or is consecutive dates? It's a single date, right?
Okay, yeah.
So let's select a date. When are we doing it?
30th July or 31st July.
Okay, so 30th July from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., right?
Yeah.
But are we flexible with the dates?
Yeah, let's choose it and see what it says.
Okay. So if we are flexible, we should let the venue know which dates we will consider.
Okay.
So they're asking us to provide optional dates that we will consider. So do you see how precise the technology can be? And how easy it can make your job? Because they will narrow it down and give you only those venues that can do the dates that you have mentioned within the time period that you have mentioned. Does it make sense?
Yes, please.
Good. So let's just uncheck that box so that we don't have to have the headache of providing dates, and then continue. Now they're asking us, what else do we need? Can you see?
Yes, please.
What does this remind you of?
Natural light, outdoor.
What does this remind you of when we were talking about site planning? What does it remind you of?
Madam, the selection of sites for a program, what you're looking out for.
Yes. What did we call it? There was a name we had for it.
Site layout design.
No, site layout is the one we were trying to do on all seating.
Specifically.
It starts with V. Okay, it starts with venue. Venue what?
Yeah.
Venue. Venue. Venue C H E C K. Hey, you still haven't got it. Venue checklist.
Checklist.
Thank you.
Oh, madam, I said it.
Are you sure? That's what he said.
Bless can win. Hey, bless.
Venue checklist. So you see, they're asking you to give them some things on your venue checklist, right? And almost all the things we discussed are here. Do you remember? The outdoor space, parking, right? Disabled access. Do you remember? Close to proximity to transportation so that people can easily get to and from the venue. Do you remember? Please, do you remember?
Yes, please, we do.
Equipment, right?
Okay,
Air conditioning. Because it's a conference, we will need breakout spaces, right? We will need projectors as well because it's a conference. And then whiteboards and flip charts. We also need natural light because it will be a daytime conference. And then you see they're asking us any catering needs. Do you see? Will we be needing catering?
Definitely.
Oh no, we don't. We have Blessing, Joanne. So we don't need their
Okay,
catering.
so they will do the okay.
For us.
All right, okay.
So we don't need their catering. We have our people. So we'll continue. Now they want to know our budget. Do you see how detailed this thing is? So imagine there was one for Ghana. As an event professional, your work would have been so easy. Do you get it?
Yes, please.
So Mercedes, what is our budget? You are the money woman in the class. So what is our budget?
I think we should look at 100 people.
100 people. So how many pounds are we
Ghana?
willing to spend? No, they're asking us to quote
pounds. Okay, pounds. So that's like, let's look at between 5 and 7.
So 7 pounds per
That's small. I think it's small. Yeah.
It's small. So perhaps let's say 100 pounds per person.
Yes.
And we have 100 people.
So that's people.
Yes, 1,000 pounds.
No, that'll be 10,000.
10,000. Yeah, 10,000 pounds.
10,000.
Hey. Wow.
Pounds per person. So let's continue. They said we should sign in.
10,000 pounds.
Yes. It's a conference though. Conferences don't come. Conferences don't come cheap. They're asking me to sign up. But if I sign up right now, they'll find out that I don't live in the UK. But I just wanted us to have the experience. So please, you get the idea.
Yes, please.
Good. So imagine there was something like this and you're an event professional in Ghana. It will make your work so easy because you know how much your people are willing to spend and you know the specifications of your event. So once you enter it, it will give you several options of venues that are within your budget that you can use to properly organize your event. They ask you everything, including even the seating arrangement that you want to use, right? Which will make your work so easy as an event professional because the space that they are going to recommend for you, you know, will definitely be good enough for the setup that you want to do. Please, does it make sense? Please, does it make sense?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, before we go on, we are moving into the realms of the technologies that you can easily appreciate and you really love because these ones, you are very familiar with them. But before we do so, does anyone have anything they need clarification on before we move into the next segment of technologies? Anyone? No one? Okay. If everyone is fine, then let's move on to the next technology, which is projection mapping. Now, projection mapping is an augmented reality technology that enhances the attendee experience by creating excitement and engagement using projection. So here, videos, graphics, animation, and other creative content are projected onto any surface using projectors. turning everyday structures into vibrant, interactive 3D displays, right? So using these projection mapping techniques and the companies that offer these services, because the projectors are coupled with certain kinds of software to be able to project all these images onto specific surfaces. So planners can be able to use these projection mapping techniques to transform event spaces that hitherto are boring and drab, right, dramatically into wow factor venues that transport attendees from one location into another. So you see that you walk into a particular hotel lobby and the place is boring, is one note, and then immediately you enter into the actual venue for the wedding reception or the conference dinner, you realize that it's like you are in a totally different place. That looks very different from where you were walking from to where you are now. Now with projection mapping, because there are no real limits to what you can do with the projection technology, event planners can stretch their imagination and project anything and everything in a room to transform it into something else. So for instance, you can enter a room and then the event professionals can project a large-scale map of the venue onto the walls, such that everywhere you walk, as you walk past the walls, all you can see is the map of the venue and you will not get lost. They can also cover all the walls with images, depending on the kind of event that it is. If it's a book launch, they can cover all the walls with the image of the speaker at the event, who perhaps is the author of the book. Or if it is a speech that they are giving, they can be projecting the names and the pictures of the various keynote speakers onto the walls. I think this one you have seen them before, haven't you? Please, have you seen them before? Have you seen them before?
Yes, doctor, I've seen one before.
Okay. So they project all these things, including social media pages onto walls, as well as all manner of interactive art displays, just to keep the attendees engaged and then keep them from being bored. So I'm quickly going to show you some examples of projection mapping for you to be able to see how it can look. Now I'll start from the ones that are very familiar to you to the ones that are less familiar. So let's look at this one first. I'm sharing the screen with you now. I hope you can see it. Do you see that the projections on the walls and how the colors of the walls have been changed? Please, do you see that?
Yes, please.
Pardon?
Doug.
Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Doug, please. So this happens while the program is going on.
No, they set it all up before the program even starts.
Yeah. Please, I'm asking if this is happening while the program is ongoing.
Yes, while the program is ongoing. So it's like you're in a totally different.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Let me show you another one. You see the floor.
Okay. Okay.
You see the wall. All that is projection mapping. Right? But this is even the basic one that we see in our context. Right? There's more. Let me show you another one. Now look at this one. Do you see it? You see how the floor is changing? Now this is a dance floor.
Okay.
Projection mapping technology. So when you're standing on it, it looks like it is hollow, right? But it is not.
Wow.
It's projection mapping technology. They're projectors and LED screens to do this. So it will keep changing colors, as many colors as it can, and sometimes the video can even change. And this one is available in Ghana at the moment. There's a company that specializes in it. They came from the UK. They are called Mega Max Stage Events. And they do it for a lot of the events we have in Ghana, but they have not even scratched the surface as to the potential of this technology and what it can do. Now let me show you some more advanced forms of the technology and what it can do. So this is the Sydney Opera House. Have you heard of the Sydney Opera House? Have you heard of it?
I haven't.
In Australia?
No, please.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
It's an Australian landmark. The moment you enter into Australia, that is like the first building that you see. It's huge and it has a very unique shape. And they use projection mapping to transform the building during a festival of lights and arts that they have every year. So let's look at the projection mapping of the Sydney Opera House.
You have sections of the animation where it drips off the building, climbs up the building, it flies around inside the building and explores the shapes and curves and bounces around inside. For us, it was really a very tight integration with the architecture so that it existed only on the Opera House. It couldn't work anywhere else in the world.
So the Opera House is the building that you see. So those shapes that you see is how the building is built. And all the things you see moving on it are forms of projection mapping. Please, do we see it?
Please.
Yes, please.
And you see where they are projecting the lights from. So they are projecting the lights from a distance away, and it is changing the building to look like all these unique things, like water is dripping on it, like people are jumping off it. Do you see what is happening? All this is projection mapping.
Wow.
And this is being done on the outside of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is projection mapping. And they can do it on any surface at all, be it outside. So you see how many people are out there just filming and taking pictures. So imagine you're having an event and you have something like this. People will just come to watch the display alone. And that's why we say these new technologies play a very pivotal role in enhancing attendee experience, because it helps them to be transported to a new place, which makes them excited about attending your event. So the moment you say you're having an event next time, they would quickly jump at the opportunity to be there because they know they are in for a big surprise or they are in for a unique experience. Please, you get me?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now let me show you another one. This one inside a banquet hall. So now do you see the walls of the banquet hall? Do you see them? It's normal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like
yes,
they are hanging some lights. Now watch the display. Do you see what is happening? The same boring room we just saw.
Yeah.
Look at what they are doing on the walls. All this is projection mapping. So it's like you are in the room and the room is moving, right?
Yes.
Yes, and you are in the mountains. I are sitting at one place. Projection mapping is doing all this. This is where event planning. This is where event planning has got into in other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And they can project anything and everything. With some of the projection mappings, they project even the images of the people who are having the event. I think at Kensi 2020, they tried to do that by that cake that they brought from the top that they opened, and it was showing a video inside the cake. That was projection mapping as well. I remember I was sitting at home and people sent me the video and like, in the cake, they were showing TV in the cake. And I said, well, they were not showing TV. It's called projection mapping. And that's a small version of it. People actually do it with real cakes. And I'll show you very soon projection mapping being done with a real cake. You see fireworks in the room. You see. All this is projection mapping. All this is projection mapping using projectors and screens. And then the software that helps to make sure that it precisely aligns to the surface that it is being projected on. So when you enter such a room, you are transported into a totally different location. And you have a different experience. As you can see, they keep changing the theme. Do you see? So as they change the themes, it changes the mood of the room. Do you realize?
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine you as an event professional organize an event and you are able to take your attendees on this journey, right? And it cannot only be done on large surfaces like walls and buildings. It can also be done on small surfaces, like even a wedding cake. Let me show you one that was done on a wedding cake. You see what is happening to the wedding cake?
Yes, please.
This is all projection mapping. And that was projection mapping on a wedding cake. So as you can see, it can be done on any surface at all. Does it make sense?
Yes, please.
All right. Before we go on, does anyone have anything they want to say?
Yes, Doc. Please, I want to ask.
Yeah.
So during this last December,
yes,
when you passed around the Accra Central area side, you see that most of the banks, their head offices have done some decors on their, on their buildings.
yes.
I don't know if you saw any of them.
I saw the ones that were using the lights.
Yes, those ones.
Yes.
Are they projection mapping?
That one is not projection mapping. That one, they are bulbs, tiny bulbs that have been strung together into string, and they lay them on their walls.
Oh, okay.
Projection mapping, when you go there, you don't see anything on the wall.
Okay.
There's nothing physical. They just use the projectors to virtually project it using light.
Okay, Doc. I get it. And then recently too, I saw another one. A friend of mine from living in another country sent it to me and asked if we could market it in Ghana. This was like they'll project on the floor surface and they'll make it look like water is flowing and then you'll be walking inside.
Yeah, that's projection mapping. That's another form of projection mapping.
Yeah. Okay, Doc.
Good observation, Amo. Okay, so that is it for projection mapping. And then finally, event website builder. Now, the reason why I left this for last is because not every event in Ghana here has its own website. And that is largely because a lot of the events that are held in Ghana here are one-off events. The ones that are not one-off events too, I believe the organizers do not feel that they need an event website because they are popular events that people will always attend regardless. However, event websites are very important. Remember when we were talking about the Chaliwote event, we went to the Chaliwote event website and they were able to give us a chronicle of all the Chaliwote events that had been organized, the upcoming ones. They were able to even use it to request for proposals for artists and creatives to submit their work, and then for vendors to come and register to participate in the upcoming Chaliwote Festival. And then they also provided updates on what will happen to the Chaliwote Festival in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic that we are all battling. So event websites are very important. They are an important digital portal for prospects and attendees to get acquainted with your event and to be able to update themselves on all new developments with regard to your event. So important details like the registration and ticketing options for the event, as well as certain changes in the event, which a lot of event organizers had to update attendees on during the COVID-19 era, because due to the emergency that came up as a result of the pandemic, almost every event had to be cancelled and be halted. And most of these events were, some of which were prepaid events, had to speak to attendees to let them know the status of their prepayments and what was going to happen with regard to the events. So the websites give all these opportunities for event organizers to update attendees on changes and developments, as well as all the information that they need to be acquainted with when it comes to the event. So if you're an event professional and you organize an event and you decide to build a website for it, these are all the benefits that you stand to gain. But let me add this caveat here that it is not every event that, as a matter of fact, needs a website. For instance, you can't build a website for a wedding or build a website for an engagement party or a dinner party. It doesn't make sense because it's a small event that sometimes has to do with a few, or perhaps even if it is large, a number that can easily be accessed and informed due to the personal nature of the relationship between the clients and their attendees. However, when it comes to large-scale events like conferences and open events like festivals and conventions and trade fairs and exhibitions, you need such platforms to be able to inform all the diverse stakeholders, not just the attendees, but vendors, sponsors, potential attendees, suppliers, creditors, all the people who are involved with these large-scale events need a place where they can go to get updated on information regarding the events. So there are several such platforms that are available here in Ghana. Some of them, because they are not owned by event professionals, but are owned by people who have identified a gap in the market and want to be able to consolidate, are platforms that combine several events that are upcoming and do their best to update users based on the information that they have with regard to the events and any updates that attendees need to be acquainted with when it comes to those events. So one of such platforms is Ego Tickets. And let's quickly look at the page to see what they do. So Ego Events or Ego Tickets is a platform that consolidates upcoming events in Accra and puts them together in one place for people who are looking for events to attend, particularly expatriates, to be able to go to and see what event is upcoming, where it's taking place, then how much perhaps the ticket costs. And I think they can also facilitate the sale of tickets to specific events if the event professionals agree with them beforehand to sell the tickets to potential attendees. So you can see that on the platform now, there are a number of events that are stated that are upcoming. For instance, there's a summer rush party at the Paloma Hotel that is supposed to take place on July 18th. And the entrance fee is, how much is the entrance fee, please? How much is the entrance fee? It's here. It's here, unless you are not watching. How much is the entrance fee?
20
Ghana cedis.
Ghana cedis. So if you want to attend this event, you can be able to get the details from here. And then it tells you the number of days left to the event. So this one is coming up in 13 days. This one is in 12 days. And then this one on the same July 18th is a house pool party organized by DPOJJ Apartments. Right, so I've opened both events. So the Summer Rush Party indeed is happening at the Paloma Hotel Complex. It's coming up in 12 days. The ticket cost is 20 Ghana cedis. But if you don't buy in advance and then you go to the place, you have to pay 23 Ghana cedis, right? And then it gives you directions and more details about the event. So they said, well, the club it's happening at the club inside Paloma Hotel. What's the name of the club? They said it's what? What's the name of it? Champs Bar inside.
Champs Bar.
Good. Good. And it's the maiden edition. So this is the first time they are organizing the event. And they are saying that it is at the location is Paloma Hotel. It's at the Circle Ring Road near Eddie's Pizza. And they have added a caveat. They said nota bene, it is what? Free for girls what? Free for girls till 10 p.m. So those are some of the details that they are sharing about the event, right? And let's look at the house pool party 1 2. The house pool party is happening at where is the location? They said it's happening at Urban Trend.
Urban Trend.
I don't know where Urban Trend is. And then they are saying that there will be what? Twerking, lap dance, fun and stress-free. Can you laugh? Then it's from 18th to 19th July. So it means that from the morning till the next day, dawn. And then what's the rate? 80 Ghana cedis for guys and
20 for ladies.
So it tells you what they are going to do there. Then you can make your payment via what? Momo to this number, right?
Yeah.
And the name of the Momo merchant is San Diogo. Similar. So and they said when you pay your ticket, you get a what? Customized what?
Nose mask.
And they are admitting how many? Only
100. 100
So you see how someone has smartly found a gap in the market and has built a website to address that problem. So here, anybody who wants to know the events that are taking place in Ghana, this looks like a platform for young people who are looking to have fun and attend fun events. I don't know if there are professional events like conferences here, because all the events I see are about raves and parties and hangouts. This one is a jazz party. Yeah, so it's about those who are seeking fun, right? Okay, no, but there's an event here that looks serious. The 20th anniversary of the Millennium Excellence Award. Okay, this is a serious event. Oh, yes, it is, right? The 20th anniversary of the Millennium Excellence Awards, taking place on Saturday, 11 July, which is this Saturday, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. But there are no other details, right?
Yes.
All they say is that it's going to have over 6,000 guests. But I think this thing was put up before COVID, because technically you can't put 6,000 people in one room. And I believe that explains why there's no other additional information. Can you see? This sentence is not even complete. So these are some of the shortcomings of running such a platform. You have to be able to make sure that you are always on point with regard to the updates and the information that is available on your page. So as an event professional, if you have your own website, you can create notices for all the events that you are in charge of organizing that are upcoming, and then be providing information and updates to people with regard to all those events. But you can see that the platform also gives you the opportunity to create your own event and add it. So that means that it facilitates user-generated content, such that any user can come there and create an event. Do you get it? So the owner of the platform does not have to do much to make sure that the site is updated with events. It has created a means by which anyone can go to the site and create an event and make it public. Please, does it make sense?
Yes, please.
Good. Okay. So these sites are fairly easy to build. There are platforms and online applications that help you to build these easily. The easiest one that you can use is WordPress. And WordPress is a free tool. It's like a blogging platform that helps you to build your own website. So it is fairly easy to use, but you have to have some background in ICT, at least know your way around computers a little bit to be able to use it with ease. But it is one of the easiest platforms that you can use to build your own website. Likewise, Wix. Wix, however, has free options and paid options. So you can decide whether you want to use the free option or the paid option. But for WordPress, it's completely free. You can build your site and customize it any way you want. Bizarbo is another one, which, like I said, is one of those event management software that combines a lot of features, including enabling you to build your own websites, develop your own app, check in your attendees, plan and manage your to-do lists, among other things. So having an event website is very important, especially for event professionals such as yourselves, to help you to be able to make public your events and then give their potential attendees, sponsors, and other stakeholders updates on the progress of the event and any changes that may take place with regards to organizing the event. For some event websites that I have gone to, especially conference websites, you see that even as soon as it gets to about 6 months to the conference or 3 months to the conference, they put online a digital clock on the website that starts to count down the days till the specific D-Day for the event. And all that makes it easier for potential attendees to grasp the nature of the event, any updates that there are with regard to the event, and then what to expect when it comes to participating in the event. So that brings us to the end of our session.